You ever notice how some of the most brilliant, successful people out there, we're talking tech geniuses, artists, leaders, they kind of wear the same thing every day? Well, it turns out it's not because they lack creativity. No, it's a very deliberate strategy, and it's all about protecting their mental clarity. So let's dive into the psychology behind the personal uniform. So that's the big question, right? Why do they do it? I mean, in a world that is just obsessed with new trends and constant variety, wearing the same outfit seems, well, it seems like a weird move. But the answer has very little to do with fashion and everything to do with psychology. Okay, so let's just bust some myths right off the bat. People see a personal uniform and they make these snap judgments, right? That it's a lack of creativity, that it's boring, or that the person just doesn't care about style. But the reality? It's way more interesting. This is a real psychological strategy. It's about protecting mental clarity and doubling down on what actually matters. At its absolute core, having a consistent style is like a secret weapon for your brain. It's specifically designed to shield your working memory from unnecessary clutter and to seriously strengthen your focus. You're basically shifting your mind from reacting to a bunch of noise to a state of deep, analytical thought. So, first up, let's talk about how this one simple choice protects your most valuable resource, your mental energy. And believe it or not, it all comes down to the science of simplicity. Psychologists have this concept called friction theory. And the idea is that every single little choice you make, no matter how tiny, creates resistance and just eats away at your mental energy. And what's a perfect example of this friction? Choosing what to wear first thing in the morning. It literally drains your willpower before your day has even really gotten started. And this is where creating a personal uniform just works its magic. It's so simple. First, you just completely remove a daily decision. Gone. That immediately reduces what we call decision fatigue. And the result? Boom, you reclaim all that precious mental energy for the big goals, the things that are actually going to move your life forward. And hey, this isn't just some Western life hack either. The Japanese have practiced Anshari for ages, which is all about decluttering not just your house, but your mind. And there's real science here. Research shows that physical clutter, yeah, like a messy closet, actually spikes your stress hormone, cortisol, and totally tanks your ability to focus. So when you apply Dan Shari to your wardrobe, the benefits are real, and you can actually feel them. You get less physical noise, which can lead to lower stress. And that gives your brain so much more room to breathe, to think, and to focus on your inner world instead of just getting swept away by fleeting trends. Now, this whole thing goes even deeper. Adopting a uniform isn't just about saving brain power, it's about your self-worth. It represents a huge shift from looking for approval on the outside to finding solid validation from within. So many of us are kind of wired to seek that external validation, right? Chasing trends, seeking likes and social approval just to feel secure. But people who adopt a uniform, they are often playing a totally different game. They run on internal validation. They value authenticity, and they rely on their own secure self-esteem. And get this, psychologists think that a lot of intellectually driven people experience something called hyperconnectivity. It basically means their brain is always buzzing, always digging deeper, always craving more analysis and depth. So for a brain that's wired like that, all the surface level stuff about fashion, it can just feel like a distraction, you know? It's like this quote says perfectly. When you value authenticity over approval, you'd much rather be honest in how you express yourself than be liked for just following a trend. Your uniform becomes a statement about your priorities. Okay, on to our final point, and honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. Wearing the same style is a profound act of autonomy. It's really about taking back control of your time, your energy, and your identity. This all comes from something called an internal locus of evaluation. Now, that sounds fancy, but the idea is super simple. It just means you judge yourself by your own standards, not by society's unspoken invisible rules. You're the one in the driver's seat of your life. Think about it this way. Your personal uniform is a quiet but really firm rejection of the idea that you owe the world a performance every single day. You're refusing to treat your wardrobe like a social obligation, and in doing that, you stay in total control of your time and your energy. So let's pull all these threads together. What's the big takeaway here? If you're someone who already simplifies their wardrobe, or maybe you're thinking about it, just remember this one really important distinction. You are not being boring, you are being intentional. In fact, you could argue that simplifying your external life is often the clearest sign of a really rich and complex inner world.
You've just made a very smart trade-off. You've chosen internal peace over external performance. And while the rest of the world gets lost in all the noise of the next big thing, you get to stay grounded in your own clarity.
And that really brings us to the final thought here, because this whole idea, it goes way beyond your closet, right? So I'll just leave you with this question. What other noise in your life could you simplify to find more clarity and focus on what truly, genuinely matters to you?